Fascinating. This is Gabrielle Ruiz, and you are watching TrekCulture.
Hello everyone, and how are you? Doesn't it feel like we're this close to new Star Trek again? Well, we are with new Star Trek because we've just got a trailer. That's what we're here to do. We're going to go through the IGN exclusive trailer that just dropped for Season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I don't know what's happened to me in life that I think somewhere along the way I learned to temper my expectations. Not to do with anything to do with the quality of this trailer, but the fact that we got a trailer at all. I think somewhere along the way I thought the teaser was it. That's what we're going to get, and we're going to go in so blind to this season. We're a little less blind now than we were after the teaser, which, as Jack we were obviously chatting about this before we recorded, pointed out, teaser, bit more of an experimental kind of project, whereas this is a little bit more of a straightforward, we want you pumped for this season trailer. And it's also coming hot on the heels of the episode titles which were revealed during the week. I love the fact that episode 1 is called Hegemony Part 2. I don't think we've had like a Part 1, Part 2 in a while. Was it Terra Firma? Was the last like consecutive Part 1, Part 2 that we got? Ouroboros. I wonder if that will come up again. I will try and put some structure on my thoughts as I take you through everything that you missed in the Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 trailer. As usual, Star Trek manages to cram rather a lot of content into 1 minute and 38 seconds. Initially, right, I looked at the runtime of this and I thought, oh, there won't be much in that. 5 pages. We get a shot of Pike, we get a shot of Spock, a shot of Mbenga, a shot of La'an, guess she's okay then, a shot of Uhura with some nice new hair, and number 1 who is doing a voiceover saying someone once said, space is dark and cold. Right, did anyone else immediately think of Carl Urban's McCoy in Star Trek 2009, for which the ups and downs are coming, by the way, I promise. Say, you know, space is just darkness and disease. I love that. But I don't think that's what she's evoking here, because she immediately goes on to say it's our job to bring the light and the warmth. And there's also somebody revealed at this part of the trailer. Batel is apparently alive and well. Okay, I am not upset about this. Of course I'm not. Like, I really, really like her. And I hope she's in all episodes of the season. But no, it's a bit like, we've ended on a massive cliffhanger where it looks like she's about to die. Oh no, she's fine. We addressed this back before. Gosh, it's been so long. We're 2 years waiting on this now. You know, and with the clip that came out at San Diego Comic-Con last year, showing what is presumably the first couple of minutes of Hegemony Part 2, it does sort of gut that cliffhanger. I wonder if there was the standard gap between seasons, let's say, you know, standard a year between seasons, would we have got as much telegraphing what's coming, particularly with that character? Because we've been waiting so long. Maybe that's why they've included, apparently, as much of Batel in this trailer that they have. And that we know it's going to open up with, I suppose, a quick recap. The Enterprise is going to try and get through the Gorn ship's shields. Again, all of this was in the SDC clip that was released last year. It's been so long since Hegemony aired, I just can't wait for Season 3. Right, back to the trailer. We get Ortegas, now we get Uhura, and this is Beto Ortegas. Beto Ortegas. This is Ortegas' little brother. This is her baby brother, and they seem to be hitting it off together. And I'm cool with that. I know nothing about this character other than he's Ortegas' baby brother. In the voiceover from number 1, they're talking about bringing life wherever they can. If there was any franchise in the world that could bring a little spark of joy and happiness to the world at the moment, is it not Star Trek, eh? I know we then get number 1 leaning into Pike going, is this a hit it situation? And he goes, it's a whatever kind of adventure we make of it kind of situation. And I like that. You know, in a way that sort of sums up the episodic nature of Strange New Worlds, doesn't it? And then we get that shot of the Enterprise with that real synth soundtrack playing over it. I like synth. What can I say? A big fan of John Carpenter's music. There you are now. At dinner, we have Chapel, we have number 1, we have Omega, Batel again. If they're clinking glasses of wine, if this turns out to be a dream sequence, I swear to God, don't give me Marie and take her away again. Don't do that. We're guessing it's Pike's hand. That person is wearing captain's bars. Talking about how the crew is a team as we're intercutting with footage of Mbenga sparring with number one. Actually, a bit of sparring in this. It's a very violent show. Very violent altogether. Speaking of which, the gorgeous backside of a Klingon D7 flying past some sort of space buoy in a meteorite cloud there, or a meteor belt. Y'all know how I feel about Klingon ships. That's all I'm going to say about that. Quite happy. And you know, even though the next Klingon ship we see, which is the Klingon Raider that was introduced in Star Trek Discovery's first season, seems to be destroying a shuttlecraft from the Enterprise, you know, as Pike turns to Omega and goes, they know we're here. I still like the Klingon ships. It's all right. It's all right. Then we get a jump scare at the window. Is that a monster? Is it a Klingon? Is it Loaxana Troi? Who is it? Who is chasing after Pike? I don't know. Is it the whippy Klingon lady that appears in the next scene? I like whips in Star Trek. Ever since the last outpost and the Ferengi used those blue energy bolt whips, hovering diamonds, this trailer finally confirms the long-held theory that Star Trek and Hellraiser's Leviathan exist within the same universe, and to the 3 people that got that joke, I see you, thank you very much. Pike and Battelle seem to be going somewhere. I don't know if there's monks, if it's a religious order, because we have some sort of gateway they're standing in front of, and we know from a shot later on in the trailer that it's definitely Pike and Battelle. Is it some sort of Iconian? No, it would be far too early. Far too late for the Iconians, but far too early in Star Trek to have an Iconian gate. But I'm not going to lie to you, some of the prequels that we've seen from Star Trek haven't given a fiddler's foot about whether it's too early or not to appear. We'll get to the whole thing with the holodeck in a moment. So we don't know. Is it a gateway? Is it some sort of transportation thing? Or is it just, here's where I kept my lights. Would you like to look at them? Don't they look pretty? I don't know. I love this show. Pelia talking about how there's evil in the universe, and then crash cut onto a Bolian. I knew it. I knew they were bad guys. I knew it. Sitting beside Ortegas and Chapel. Now, they do seem to be laughing and happy, so we'll give him that. Kirk. James T. Kirk, once again, cue the memes, cue the jokes. What the hell are you doing on my starship, Kirk? Will you go back to your own? In his defense, the Farragut does turn up in this trailer, so maybe he actually is on his own ship as well. But Kirk is there, he's smiling, everybody's happy out, and then you have La'an smiling at him. Obviously, we have, I suppose, where are they at the moment? Because the last thing we saw between them is that La'an was telling him about the events of tomorrow, and he was, saying that, well, he was with Carol Marcus and there's a baby on the way. So are we going to address any of that? Perhaps. Perhaps not. We do see Spock and La'an having a little bit of a dance later on in this trailer. And also, as, we're seeing this, kind of this heroic shot almost of Kirk walking in and the big smile on La'an's face. Just behind her, number one is applying lipstick. Is this going to be like that episode of Buffy where everybody was chasing after Xander? I'm not saying I would hate that. Crucially, we get a shot of Kirk on a very damaged looking bridge looking down at the center seat, the captain's chair, and over which we get a voiceover from Pike saying, the decisions that you make in that chair are yours to make and yours to live with. And then we get Spock saying, what are your orders, sir? I mean, technically, yes, this is far too early in Star Trek history for Kirk to take command of the Enterprise. But then also, if you think back to season 1, the final episode of Quality of Mercy, they've already done a jump forward in time. And of course, we also had tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Is this going to be yet another alternate universe episode? Could this be on the holodeck that we know is going to appear thanks to the teaser? We don't know. Everything's looking very serious. But if my little fanboy heart didn't just swell with warmth when Spock said, what are your orders, sir? We get writing that says new romance, and we get a clip of what seems to be from the Vulcan clip. So the Vulcan clip I mentioned earlier, again, if this is absolute news to you, There was a clip released where Chapel, Pike, Uhura, and La'an are all seemingly transformed into Vulcans using the same Kirkovian technique that was used to fix and then unfix and then sort of fix again Spock in the previous season. Still quite like that one. There's been a lot of discussion about that clip because of obviously it's so out of context. We don't know anything about it. And also, I'm not going to get into it here. We've talked about it already. Based on just what we see in this trailer, you're like, what, Sean, why are you going on about this? Chapel seems to be in her Vulcan regalia in this scene. It's Chapel, Spock, and Mbenga looking at sparks. No other context, nothing else going on. The only thing about it is this footage was not in that released clip. Then we get that scene I mentioned where Beto and Uhura are teasing Erica by going, you don't trust me with your best friend, you don't trust me with your baby brother. They both look like they're about to be engaged in divilment, so I think Erica has every right to have a raised eyebrow. We see them dancing together, and that is a shot that seems to be from, if we go back to the teaser, we have that awesome shot, not in this trailer, but that awesome shot of what seems to be the Adosian bartender at Centennial Day. This seems to be from that same ceremony. I guess they're going to dance together at Centennial Day then. Looking forward to it. Gorn! We see Gorn! So, obviously, we left season 2 with the Gorn had destroyed the Cayuga. They had seemingly beamed some of the crew away. Sam, Kirk, Mbenga, La'an, Ortegas, they're all beamed away. Not very good. Don't think I'd fancy being beamed up by a Gorn. But hey, I've had worse Fridays. But these Gorn do seem to be firing at people. I don't really want Gorn firing at you. Pike says, we've got to stop this invasion. Did that dial up to 11? Because, last we saw, they were very clearly saying, there's your demarcation line. You stay on your side, we'll stay on ours. What's changed in the last 2 years? Then we get Kirk saying prepare all weapons. If we pick up, as we see, so the release clip seems to be we're going to pick up from where season 2 left off, which means we're facing off against the Gorn. So if Kirk is ordering weapons to be fired against the Gorn, does that mean the Farragut, which is in the trailer, then arrives to back up the Enterprise? And if that's the case, then who's firing at who? Why isn't Pike there? We then get Sam Kirk. That's quite funny, actually, the way we have Kirk prepare all weapons, and then you get a split-second shot of Sam Kirk firing a phaser. It's almost like there's like a trigger. We have Mbenga and then La'an going, get to the ship, which never, like, does that not just go? Anytime anyone says get to a location, I'm just straight away going, get to the chopper. We have more Gorn, moving swiftly on. We have more Gorn. And then we get that awesome shot of the Enterprise upside down, hovering over the Farragut as they both seemingly fire at the surface of a planet. Now, why this particular planet has managed to piss them both off so much, I do not know. But it's a cool shot. I wouldn't really be doing it justice if I tried to do it myself. Oh, go on then. So you've got the Farragut right there on the bottom there. Then the Enterprise is there. Can you see that? I'll lift my arm awkwardly, okay? And they're firing like that. You don't need all these big budgets, really, to redo scenes. All you need is a couple of models and some hope. I'm a silly man. Out of nowhere, we get a wormhole seems to open up, and then a shuttle flies out through it. Okay, this is good. Absolutely no context. Who knows? Then we get that front shot, I say, of Pike and Battelle looking at that gate. They seem to be wearing, on top of their away mission jacket, sort of like an armband here. Now, it could just be a tricorder, but it stood out to me. And then we suddenly have the end of Interstellar. If no one has seen Interstellar, close your eyes, cover your ears right now. Yeah, it looks... Is that the Tesseract from Interstellar? What's going on? I am confused and interested to see what Christopher Nolan is going to do with a Star Trek episode. So, yeah, listen, I'm here for it. Then we see more sparring. Battelle sparring with Pike. Does everyone just spar on this ship the whole time? We have La'an armed and firing right at the camera, so I'm guessing someone told her to redo a scene she thought had gone quite well. Pike and Mbenga shield quickly from an explosion. Pelia thumping Pike on the shoulder. Spock punching Killian O'Sullivan because he wasn't in the teaser. So on that, we know Cillian O'Sullivan is playing Roger Korby in this season. Korby, the character, had previously appeared in What Are Little Girls Made Of in the original series. A very important character in the story of Christine Chapel. The only thing we now know about him is that he's in a split second of this trailer and Spock is punching him. So I can't wait to see what that conversation's going to be like. But you know who's not in this trailer is Rhys Darby. So obviously we had so much discussion out of the teaser about Rhys Darby, who was seemingly doing, what we reckon he's Trelane. You know, I don't know, but he's clicking his fingers. But there's none of him at all in this trailer, which makes me wonder, how much of the season is he actually in? Is he in some? Is he in not very much? Vice versa. How much is Korby in? Is he in some? Is he in not very much? Then we have Scotty, Martin Quinn. I love Martin Quinn as Scotty. He's just brilliant. There you are now. That's my review of that. He's just brilliant. Chapel, Uhura, La'an, Beto, Spock, and Korby in the Interstellar house. Is this before or after Spock punches him? Is this what causes the house to go interstellary? Who knows? Spock is mind melding with someone in the next scene. And then we have a couple of glorious friends in space, because the Enterprise seems to be firing on a main-out asteroid that seems to have kicked 7 levels of crap out of the Farragut. Is the Farragut's lot in life to appear in Strange New Worlds and have the beaten out of it? Because it does look fairly nobbled in this. The history of the Farragut is pretty rough as well, because back in 2257, which is before the events of season 1 even, obviously the Farragut encountered the Dichromium, I think I've got that right, cloud, basically the obsession cloud monster that killed half its crew. Remember, Kirk's a survivor from that. But that means also the Farragut got attacked by that. The Farragut, now, alternate history of course, but the Farragut got attacked by the Romulans, and then we have the Farragut seemingly here getting nobbled as well. You know, like, the poor ship. You're safe here. You're safe here, little one. We get a lovely little bit of Scotty and Pelly. Then Scotty says there is a 1 in 1,000 chance we don't blow up. We get that quick shot of the phone with the old analog connection thing as well. We had that more in the teaser than this one. Pike then going, we'll just turn it off before we blow ourselves up. I like that as a kind of a logic. And then after the reminder for July 17th, we get our season premiere. That's almost the last thing. And then we get the scene that is sure to get people talking. Spock teaching Patton Oswalt's Vulcan character how to high five, down low. Why did you do that? You are, in fact, too slow. I like stupid humor. I like it. Do you know what? Spock as the comedy character, I didn't really realize how much I needed that. But he's really for me anyway, he's working as a comedic foil. The rest of the episode might be absolute pants, I don't really know, I haven't seen it yet, but I liked that scene. And also it's nice to see Patton Oswalt here in this trailer, because Patton Oswalt has technically appeared in Star Trek before. He voiced Spot 73 in the Star Trek Picard Season 2 episode Penance, but don't hold that against him. He is also a card-carrying Trekkie who also appeared in the film Please Stand By as a Klingon-speaking police officer. Before I go even into my last bit, I want to run through the episode titles for this season with you. We have Episode 1, Hegemony Part 2, I think fairly self-explanatory. Number 2, Wedding Bell Blues. Okie dokie. Number 3, Shuttle to Kenfori. Number 4 is a Space Adventure Hour. Well, we know that Episode 4 is the murder mystery episode. We know that it was directed by Jonathan Frakes, and from the teaser, we know it seemingly takes place on the holodeck. Wherever that works out in Star Trek history and timelines, we'll have to deal with that one. But as I said, the Rec Room was in the animated series, so you never know. Number 5, Through the Lens of Time. Number 6, The Saylet Who Ate Its Own Tail. Now, that's so Saylet, obviously Spock's pet, Ichaya from the animated series episode Yesteryear. But then also there's a Saylet in the Enterprise Season 4 episode The Forge. But also the Saylet Who Ate Its Own Tail being a reference to the snake that ate its own tail, Ouroboros. Oh, is that a reference to Star Trek Prodigy? The last 2 episodes of Season 2, which were called Ouroboros, Parts 1 and 2. It's about the cycle of time and endlessness and eternity. So, what the bloody hell does it mean? Number 7, what is Starfleet? Number 8, 4.5 Vulcans. Again, seemingly to me, self-explanatory. You have your 4 full Vulcans. You've got your half Vulcan Spock. We'll see how they handle that one. Number 9, Terrarium. Terrarium being, a glass case of soil and dirt, basically protected and usually kept somewhere in an area that is not typically, it's like having a desert in a jar at an aquarium. You with me? So basically I'm looking at that going, oh, so this must be about Starbase 1. Starbase 1 with its, hang on, where's it gone? It's just behind me here. Sorry, now. Starbase 1, this being the Discovery version, with its terrarium pods around it. So I'm assuming the action is set there. And then you have episode 10, New Life and New Civilizations, which is obviously a reference to Star Wars. I am super, super excited for this new season, as you can probably tell. It comes out July 17th with a 2-episode premiere. Before then, we will have some spoiler-free talk about it, of course, because we don't do spoilers here. It's not what we do. Because the premiere will also be happening at the Tribeca Festival. I am super excited for season 3 of Strange New Worlds because, of course, I am. We have so much that we've been preparing for you for this one, and I can't wait to share it with you. We've got some really, really cool stuff to share. So, I can't wait to talk about it. But until then, thank you so much, everyone who's been following along with the retro ups and downs. The next ones, we have Nemesis to come. We have the Kelvin movies to come as well. We also had our special one with Galaxy Quest. I'm so glad we got to do that one. If you're interested in the t-shirt I'm wearing directly under this video, if you click on the link, yes, we actually have merch. We have merch now. Do have a click, see what you think, pick up something for yourself, for your friends, for everyone. Now, if you like it, pick someone up. Obviously, I'm dead chuffed with this. I literally just got this yesterday. So how well timed is this? Folks, you are awesome. You are wonderful. As I always say to you, and I will say to you again, live long and prosper. We will bring news to you as and when it drops. And if we don't, it's Jack's fault. And I'm just saying that because Jack is going to have an article out as well. Possibly there will be a link to it already in this video. Folks, look after yourselves, and I'll see you very, very soon.